Hi, my name is Lindsay Clyde, and this is Learn, Live, Love Yourself, a podcast where self-discovery leads to self-lovery. Each episode, I am delivering fun, practical ways to peel back the layers of your life and tap into that deep down you. Changing your mind one challenge at a time, this podcast will get you loving yourself better every day. It's time to grow. Come learn, live, love yourself with me. Episode 8, Nourish Your Body, Part 2 of the Love Your Body series. Welcome back to the Learn, Live, Love Yourself podcast. I'm Lindsay Clyde, and you just heard all of that in the introduction, which is kind of long. I think I'm going to start cutting them down. I don't know. Leave a review and tell me what you think about that. So, nourish your body. Let's talk about that. To begin the episode, my story is this. I used to go for meals and meals and meals without eating any vegetables. Like in college, I think I had probably a can of green beans once or twice a week and an apple or bagged carrots when I remembered to eat them. And that was pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. What did you eat in college? I don't feel like I really made good food a priority. Like, food was a priority. Like, please, I'm hungry, but that was mainly bean and cheese quesadillas. Rachel, do you remember this, Rachel? If you're listening, bean and cheese quesadillas, and then maybe I'd make something in the crock pot for the apartment or whatever. But yeah, not very many vegetables. And even after getting married, I still didn't eat that many vegetables. It was probably more just like fruit, like strawberries and apples and oranges. But I noticed a shift in my desire for vegetables during my first year of marriage. Because Steve, my husband's grandmother, who we lovingly call Nana, she makes amazing food. And it was at her house that I first tasted sautéed Brussels sprouts. And my idea of Brussels sprouts just pretty much came from TV. Like, the kids in the TV would see these little things rolling around on their plate and they'd be like, ew, Brussels sprouts, bleh, I'm not eating this. And the parents would be like, come on, it's good for you. It happens in almost every cartoon. So I had never even actually tasted Brussels sprouts before. But I gave Nana's Brussels sprouts a shot. And boy, oh boy, let's talk about these Brussels sprouts, okay? Wash them. Then cut them in half lengthwise. Put them face down in a pan with butter. And then once the bottoms have browned, you flip them around and sauté them a little more until they become soft enough that you can poke through them with a fork. And sometimes when I make them now, I use the lid to steam it a tiny bit if they're still too hard. But mostly, that's it, plus a good dose of salt and pepper. And I am telling you, the pan just sears them perfectly, kind of caramelizing them in the butter. And I could just eat those Brussels sprouts for days and days and days. They are that good. And so simple, right? Nana taught me that. She is the master of classy and effortless cooking. I mean, she makes salads with these amazing simple ingredients like avocado, cherry tomatoes, throw in some nuts, and voila, you've got an amazing salad. Or French beans with sautéed garlic and bacon. And alongside all of these yummy vegetable side dishes, she also puts out dishes like salmon, which I hated until I tasted hers, roasts, rolls, and I don't know how, but even her store-bought bread on her PB&J sandwiches tastes like heaven. I don't even know. It sings, okay? And when I think about nourishing my body, I think about eating Nana's food. Food. I love food. Can you tell? I love making it. I love reading about it. I love eating it. I love smelling it. And some of my best memories and happiest moments have come from these experiences with food. And sometimes it's not just the food that makes it so great. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the food's amazing, but often it's just experiencing the food with people that I love. Sitting around on a Sunday afternoon or evening after we had dinner, just sitting at the table, stuffing ourselves with even more rolls than we could possibly handle, just because we wanted to sit around and talk, and the rolls were just really that good. And we talked and we laughed and we bonded during those times. And they were just such good meals my mom would make, like roast and potatoes. I keep talking about roast. And chili beans and fry bread and Mexican food of all types. Oh, I miss Mexican food. Yum, right? And all of these foods, if eaten alone and repetitively, like constantly, that would not lead me to a very happy place, would it? But when mixed up and eaten as a whole group at different times, that works. Because all foods bring something to the table, right? We learned that in episode 5 from our good friend Danielle Leviquist. She said all foods bring something to the table, and I agree. There is something valuable about every type of food. It might not be nutritionally valuable, per se, by the books, but it could bring back memories or happy times, joyful moments in your life, remembering, I love the SpongeBob-shaped macaroni Kraft macaroni and cheese boxes. For some reason, the shapes always taste better than the regular noodles. There's some happiness and a memory attached to the food. The food is not just what it brings nutritionally, but also they nourish you emotionally. And because I'm in charge of what goes into my body, it is up to me to be wise and caring and thoughtful about this. So what do you think of when you hear the word nourish? I think of a tender little plant. It's my responsibility to take care of this tiny little guy. This little plant is just barely popped out of the soil. It's my responsibility to give it sunlight, water, soil to grow in, and maybe sing to it a little bit so that it can be strong and happy. But too much of any of those good things can kill that little plant. Okay? We have to find the balance of all the good things. It takes practice to teach yourself how to nourish your body. We are just bombarded by messages about what we should or shouldn't eat, and I think that if we want a healthier, and I mean this in two ways, a mentally healthier and a physically healthier approach to nourishing ourselves, we need to ask, how? How do I nourish my body? So here are some questions or some food for thought. When I wrote down that note, I put a little smiley face. I cannot resist the puns, ever. Okay, so here's some food for thought. Answer these questions in your own mind. What does nourishing my body look like? Does it look like going to the family party and not eating anything, even if I'm hungry and it all looks delicious because I ate too much, quote unquote, for breakfast? Does it look like going weeks and weeks without eating any vegetables or fruit? Does nourishing my body look like starving myself? Does nourishing my body look like only ever eating out of a vending machine? Does it look like drinking lots and lots of water, not to hydrate myself, but to mask the pains of hunger in my tummy? Does nourishing myself mean beating myself up for wanting sweet foods? Does it mean never having leafy greens because I hate them? Does it mean only eating leafy greens because that's what the latest diet lady told me to do? I don't know. Does it? Is that what it means? Only you can answer these questions for yourself. Everyone's body is different. And although there are definite benefits to living on an only fruit and vegetable diet, these ideas aren't rules. These ideas that scientists and billboards feed us aren't rules, but more like guidelines. What's that quote from Pirates of the Caribbean? They're more like guidelines anyway. That was the worst. I think I'll keep that. Normally, I'd probably cut that out of this episode. That was literally the worst pirate impersonation ever. Okay, they're more like guidelines anyway. For me, nourishing my body doesn't look like anything I just said. All of that is extreme and not balanced at all. Nourishing my body looks like a whole, well-rounded experience. For me, it's about liking lots of foods and being an adventurous eater. Eating foods that bring back good memories, like I said before. Eating food with friends and family. Drinking lots of water, but also drinking soda because I like the way it fizzes in my mouth. Nourishing my body means I think, what have I been missing from my meals this week? And then going out and getting that food I've been missing so that I feel great. I know my body likes all of these foods, all different types of foods, because I've tried lots of things. I don't just plain steam Brussels sprouts with no butter and no salt because yuck. I want to be happy when I eat my food. And I'm trying to do these things to make my body strong and happy. That means there is room for every type of food I want to eat. So after all of my little diatribe just then, have you had any thoughts that have come to your mind? Does any of this sound like you? The good and the bad? What does nourishing your body look like for you? And why is it important to actually step back and think about this? Like, you're fine, right? You're a pretty healthy person. You're not going to die of any malnutrition anytime soon. That's great. Why is it important to think about this whole experience of eating food? I think the answer is, look at your cute body. It is our duty to guide and direct our bodies to good, joyful things. You are there to make sure you listen to your body, but also be in charge of giving it a well-rounded experience in life. Not because you'll be obese or you will feel ashamed if you don't do these things. We nourish our body so that we can grow as a person. Treat your body like a good friend. I talked about this in episode 4, which is part 1 of the Love Your Body series. You got to view your body as something separate from you. Your body is a thing that needs help, and it does so much for you. Imagine your body is your friend, okay? Think about what you do with your friends. Do you invite your friends over and only serve them plain kale? Do you restrict their food intake or give them tiny plates so that they don't eat too much? Do you call your friends ugly and fat when they eat something that isn't in the Whole30 diet? I hope not. You're poor friends. Nobody's going to want to come back to your house and have food with you. Okay, so if you wouldn't treat your friends that way, why would you treat your body that way? You can't hate yourself healthy. That's a quote from later, but I just decided to say it right now because it fits. Think about it. So how do we live this? I say, eat foods that you like and learn to like more foods. You might not like one type of food because of the way it's prepared, but chop it up and add some seasonings to it and throw it in something else. Maybe you do like that food. Try it. Maybe you do. How else do we live this? We live this by knowing that loving your body means we treat it nicely. We do nice things for it. We cultivate it, like that plant I was talking about before, or just a sweet little puppy. Give your body treats. Give your body regular food and lots of water and exercise. This is all part of a happy life experience. I've probably said happy about 50 times in this episode already, but I don't think there's another word other than happy, good, and joy. These are the things you should be shooting for when you think about nourishing your body. If you decide not to do these things for your body, you are creating stress between you and this amazing thing that carries you around all day. Your body's hungry, it's tired, but you say, no, we can't eat because we need to lose weight. And your body says, but please, I'm hungry. Feed me. And you say, no, you're not eating today. You see how ridiculous this is? Be nice. Be nice to your body. And maybe your body's feeling sluggish because only the things that are in your house right now don't provide sustaining energy to you throughout the day. And so you're snacking on the goldfish crackers, and this is me. I just snack on those goldfish crackers, but I feel kind of like, bleh. That's my body saying, hey, could we get some Brussels sprouts up in here? Table for two. I want a whole heaping plate of Brussels sprouts right now. And I've got to listen to my body, even if it takes a little bit more time to cook my meals or whatever. And you know what? Life comes at you fast. Who says that? life is hard. You are going to go through stages of your life where you're not nourishing your body. And don't beat yourself up about that. Okay? Think to the future and think, what are some small things I could do now to change my habits? And when in the future is going to be a good time to kind of get back on track? That's all you need to do. Because if you start saying, I'm such a failure, blah, 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 and beat yourself up, what you're doing is just sabotaging yourself. That's not helpful at all. Beating yourself up is not going to lift you up. Just drives you farther into the ground. So if you are having a hard time with nourishing your body right now because of health challenges or things in your family situation that are making you stressed, it's fine. Take a deep breath. I will do one small thing to nourish my body today. That's part of the pop challenge. I'm just skipping ahead all the time. Okay, before we get to the pop challenge, I want to just give you a few wellness quotes. And I reached out to these amazing people on Instagram and asked them, would you be willing to give me a few of your quotes or quotes that you love about your profession? These are all wellness people on Instagram. And they are accounts that I follow and put out messages that I think are helpful and healthy. So if you want to go find them, all of their Instagram accounts will be linked in the show notes, and I would suggest following them because they definitely have something good to say. And when you surround yourself with these positive food messages about, yes, you can eat whatever you are feeling like you need to eat, but balance it when you want to eat something that will give you sustained energy, like listen to your body. This is what they're saying, okay? Surround yourself with these messages. Here are some of the quotes they sent over, my favorite ones. Without further ado, here we go. The Wellful, okay? She sent over, low-calorie foods aren't healthier, they just provide less energy. And her second quote is, PSA, guilt is not an ingredient. All foods are guilt-free. You've seen those articles online. Guilt-free summer snacks that'll hit the spot. Whatever, guys. Everything's guilt-free. I loved that one. Okay, next. Taylor Wolfram RD says, your body is wise. Trust it. And your health does not define your worth. There's another one. Awesome. Emily Fonesbeck RD says, every meal or snack is an opportunity to connect with your needs rather than to compensate for what you ate. And wanting to eat a nutritious meal or snack can actually have nothing to do with your weight, shape, or size. Rebecca Scritchfield wrote a book called Body Kindness, and here's one of her quotes. You can't hate yourself healthy. There she is. You can't hate yourself healthy, but by being kind to yourself, you can create a better life. I love that. Next, Alyssa Rumsey, one of her clients, said, actually, getting rid of the guilt and anxiety around food really leaves room for taste. Which, amen, sister, or brother, whoever you were, I totally agree. Another client commented, you don't have to love your body to be kind to it. Whoa. And then Alyssa also pointed me to this quote by the Dalai Lama, which says, be kind to yourself whenever possible. It is always possible. Oh, yeah, man. Okay, yeah, do you feel it? I'm like clenching my fists and like pumping my arms like, yes! Because do you feel this? What would your nourished body look like? How would your nourished body feel? And only you can answer that. So this is what I'm giving the challenge. So I am giving you this POP challenge this week. And remember, POP stands for, say it with me, power of practice. You're not going to be perfect at nourishing your body. It's okay. Just take a deep breath and try again. Don't beat yourself up. Here's the challenge. Write down 2 things that you will start doing today to nourish your body. This might mean you stop telling yourself discouraging things while you eat. It could mean just sitting down and taking a deep breath and giving yourself mental space to actually slowly taste and experience the food that's in front of you. Write down 2 things you will do this week, and then go online and tell me what they are at Learn, Live, Love Yourself podcast and use the hashtag Nourish My Body. All right, guys, that's it. That's just me just like getting into the microphone and saying, I want you to feel this. It takes work to pick apart all of the baggage that we have surrounding food and other things in our life, but man, is it worth it if you can unpack what is in your brain. What are you telling yourself about who you are and what you can and can't eat? It's time to think about your body as a friend and learn how to nourish it. Give it what it needs because you cannot hate yourself healthy. It's not going to work. So try it this way and see what happens. Next week, I have my personal friend, registered dietitian / nutritionist Lisa Kiovangsa. She's coming on the show to talk about more of this intuitive eating stuff. She's going to break down some myths about food and help us discover what intuitive eating can look like for each of us in our lives. All right, see you then. New episode every Monday. I'm Lindsay Clyde. This is the Learn, Live, Love Yourself podcast. Please subscribe. And next time, bring a friend.